All right, so there's already people here, so I figured I'd go live. What's up, guys? How's it going? Monday's Night Nut. Nuts for Knives. What's up, everybody? Thanks for coming. Doom should be here shortly, within the next couple of seconds or minutes or whatever. Thanks for coming, though. What's going on, everybody? Hey, Doom. Why don't you join me? Oh, shit. Okay. And there he is.
What's going on, man? Hey, give me a second. I got to shut my door so I don't wake up my daughter.
Okay.
Oh, I had to push the dog out.
Surprised you're wearing pants.
Yeah. I mean, that's.
Hey, Gertrude.
It's questionable. You know, sometimes I have pants on, sometimes I don't.
So how you been, brother?
But not too bad. Not too bad. So everybody, Mundus is joining us from China.
I see that.
He is just an amazing knife designer.
Really?
Yeah, he's the one who did this one.
Oh.
This is the crazy one that has that button lock that doesn't disengage until the knife is closed. And then once it's fully closed, it's running on an actual detent system. So it's
That's
still
awesome.
it's still got that real nice crispy detent feel and not the squishy button lock feel.
I love
it. He's got a new knife coming out that's like 10 times more insane than this one. And they're going to be coming to me here. And I'm going to be the distributor within the United States. So keep an eye out for those soon, man, because it's going to be wild.
Yeah, dude, keep me posted. I'll be one of the first ones in line because I can't ever get the map faces. So
So what's up with you, man? You were having some health issues, and then you took a break for a little while, and
I did.
You're back, and I see you're rocking a demons behind me hat.
Yeah, I've got a couple.
Nice. Did you find those from me?
No, I've seen the ads on Instagram.
Okay.
And I like the idea. Plus, just coming off the drugs and everything is kind of like a supportive thing for me as well, because I wear the bracelet every day too.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah, I've got the purple hat, and I have three of their T-shirts that should be arriving any day now. I got the Halloween one with the Grim Reaper and in the graveyard, and it says demons behind me, and then underneath it says my past is dead.
I was looking at those earlier this week, I think Tuesday. Yesterday. They're pretty awesome. So yeah, I was looking at the shirts yesterday. So I'll probably get a few of those.
Nice. So you're back and you're up and you're at it, and you got a nice fresh beard trim.
I do. Yeah.
You're looking sharp, man.
I just started this about a little over a month ago. Yeah. I started growing the beard just about the time that right before that Riot video came out, the Jack.
Mm-hmm.
So that's probably about a month ago. I missed you guys though. I mean, like I said in the video, I didn't want to stop recording. I didn't want to stop doing videos, but I realized I kind of had to, because there was no me there.
Yeah.
So I kind of just had to figure out, who I was and what I wanted to be and how I wanted to get there.
I know the feeling all too well, man. I had a period of time there where I don't think I did any normal, just recorded content for 3 weeks, something like that. Almost 3 weeks. I still do my streams with Frankie every Tuesday and Thursday because I love it. I have a great time with it. But my purchasing of new knives has dwindled so much, and there's so few things that come out that really tickle my fancy.
Yeah.
And I'm not just going to make a piece of content on a knife just to make a piece of content on a knife. There's enough knife TV shopping center places out there just reading spec sheets. You don't need me to do that.
Right. Yeah, I hear you, man. And it's kind of the same thing with me too. I mean, I've had a few new acquisitions over the last couple of months, but nothing like I was before. So I don't know. I mean, hopefully some more interesting stuff drops and we'll be able to get back into it a little bit. Who knows?
Yeah. Hey, hang on. Let me see. Wait, what is Gertrude doing? You get a good look at her? Butthole gazers. It's not as fun when nobody's actually in the room that gets to be punched.
I just did that to a girl at work the other day, and she looked at me like I had a dick growing out of my forehead. She's like, "What does that mean?"
Is she young or old?
Oh yeah, she's like in her 20s.
Oh yeah, no, that's I don't. I got nuts for knives.
Am I dripping?
Dopey, yeah, Dopey. I would totally borrow your CDC Salvation. I might just record a video on it while I'm up there visiting you in a couple of weeks, man.
What's up, everybody? Thanks for coming. I really appreciate having you guys here. Good to see you, Crispy, Dopey. I already said hi to Nuts for Knives. T-Fetch, what's going on, brother? So what have you been up to?
Are you petting Bacon over there?
I am petting Nugget, the fattest cat we have.
Okay. I see you over there stroking something, and I'm like, those are some really, really long strokes. So either he's got an animal over there.
My wife's sitting next to me.
Nice.
I know.
Was Gertrude using both hands to hold the hanky, or am I just stoned? No, you're totally just stoned, because this hand is just loose, and this one I pinned up so that I could make her do, her own little pocket checks for live streams. So now she's got herself. I got a shill for some Forest Hanks. I got the Forest Hank Stingray. This is a rare one.
I like it.
It's super cool. The Stingray. And I guess she decided that she wanted to hold the crypt. So she's got the Arcane Design crypt.
She's got good taste. No,
so stop. You had some interesting things to discuss.
I did.
When we were chatting the other day.
I can't remember if I sent you this or not.
Yes, you did. The Mr. Dick Butt.
Yeah.
I got a friend who's got a dick butt tattoo.
Really?
And it's the gaudiest thing ever. It's just like this random dick butt.
Yeah.
Right here in the crook of his arm.
Just so it flexes when he moves.
Uh-huh.
That's awesome.
I have a lanyard bead coming right now. I always find the gems. I got a couple of fairly normal ones, and then I have one that is a naked woman, all like thrown back like this, riding on a Tyrannosaurus Rex that's actually a Penosaurus Rex. It's a big dick with dinosaur legs. And a tail. It's got a tail. So I need to find what knife I'm going to put that on.
Yeah, where did you get that from? I got to get me one of those.
AliExpress.
Ah, okay.
There was like $4 shipped.
Yeah, they're all pretty good. Yeah. Well, I mean, I've only been on the site a couple of times, but sounds like fun. Sorry, I got the Rona, by the way.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
I had the couve again while you were out, man.
Did you?
That was like the fourth or fifth time I've had that crap.
Oh man, it's only my second. Not a
Yeah.
huge fan.
No, it's horrible. I mean, I've almost gotten to the first time I got it, and I'm fully vaccinated,
Right, me too.
which really doesn't, at this point, it doesn't mean crap, because like I've
No.
been saying so much building up to this point, that it's still mutating so rapidly
Yeah.
that there's no predictability to it. I mean, the only thing they've been able to predict so far is that the Delta strain was going to make a comeback,
Okay.
which it did, and then it went away quick. But Delta is what killed my brother. So, but I got it the first time, and I was like borderline pneumonia. I
Yeah.
was out for about a month and a half. Then the second time I got it, it was like 3 weeks. The third time I got it, 2 weeks. This last time I got it, it was like 5 days, and I was back to normal. So
Yeah. Well, yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure how to feel about that whole situation, because I mean I work in a nursing home, obviously, so you got to be careful.
yeah,
Initially I kind of thought it was just really no more dangerous than the common flu. If you
hmm
had other contributing factors, there could be other issues with it. But
it seems to really beat down people who have underlying health conditions.
yeah,
It's like the
for
and
sure.
here's the conspiracy theory side of me, is that this thing was genetically engineered to attack people with cancer and different obesity and so on. It's like for every exacerbating condition that you have health wise, the
Yeah,
fatality of it went up exponentially. Like my brother, for
yeah,
instance, unfortunately for him, he had just finished up his last round of chemo for lymphoma. So his immune system was shot to shit. And
yeah.
he got it. And within a week, he was in the hospital. He was then in the hospital for close to 2 months. At the 1 month and 29 days was when he just got delirious because he wasn't breathing, and they put him on the vent. And the very next morning after they put him on the vent, they pulled the plug. So
That sucks.
surprise. I'm over here clicking the messages on my sidebar like I'm running the StreamYard, and it's gonna come up. Homer said had it twice, got the Johnson and Johnson. Yeah, I had the Johnson and Johnson as well. The single shot one. I got that and the booster. And I feel like my immunity, or at least my body's ability to kick it, has been significantly higher than some of the people I know that have got like 10 and 12 Pfizer shots.
Yeah, and I kind of felt the same way. Like initially, I thought I was immune to it because I went like a year and a half without getting it.
Yep.
And then the first time I got it was probably, I think, 6 weeks after my booster.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, it did hit me pretty hard like the first day, but then it kind of continues. I got better after that.
Sure.
Definitely wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. So that kind of
Yeah.
makes sense.
You're lucky, man. I've had respiratory issues my entire life. Like when I was a kid, I always
Yeah.
had strep throat. I had my tonsils removed when I was 21 years old, because I
Wow.
was still getting strep throat all the time. But the older I got, the worse it got, and it started turning into like pneumonia. I was getting pneumonia twice a year. It was just bad. So they removed
Yeah.
those, and I got better. And then I went off to Afghanistan and huffed a bunch of burning garbage and fertilizer bombs for a couple years of my life, which killed my lungs. I think that's why I had such a hard time that first time I got it. it was just beating me down, but I bounced back, luckily.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. I had what they called activity induced or exercise induced asthma.
Yep.
And I think I ended up with COPD probably about 10 years ago. But yeah, I mean, I was surprised at how, I don't want to say mild or whatever, but it didn't seem like it took me much to get over it.
Yeah.
I know we had a surgeon in the city that I live in. He was like, Superman. Every day he ran like 10 miles on the treadmill. He's super in shape. He was a surgeon and all that. He ended up
Yeah.
having to have a bilateral lung replacement.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's insane, man. And that's what it does though. When it gets into the lungs and creates the pneumonia, like my brother, for instance, they were x-raying him every handful of days just to see what his lungs were doing. And it's like the pneumonia was fighting off, but the scar tissue was spreading across his lungs like cancer. So I don't know what it was doing. It's crazy stuff.
It is. Yeah.
So have you had any new knife acquisitions since you were gone?
Yes. I got a few. I got the Brat.
Okay.
Which I like a lot.
Yep.
I love that integral G10 handle. And I got my my first 24.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah.
I've been eyeing those, man. Every time I sit and I talk with Brant, Hinderer Collector, and he's playing with them, and I'm looking at them, and I'm like, I really want one of those, but at this point, I'm waiting. I want the Wharncliffe. I want a full titanium Wharncliffe.
Do you want the 24 or the 18?
I don't know, whatever one's bigger.
The 24.
I don't know much about them.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the Wharncliffes are super sick looking. I love those a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, show.
Did you want to
take a look at mine? Do you want me to send it over to you?
No.
All right.
No. As interesting as it is, I don't know if it's, like I've handled them before. I don't think it's something that I want to make a video on. It's just something that I want for my personal collection.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Smoke a pack a day, have asthma, and somehow didn't catch it. When my ex-wife had it, she coughed in my face all night sleeping in the same bed.
Yeah,
my wife just snores.
Bro, I have I have no immune system. My daughter, I pick her up and drop her off at school, and she'll bring home some kind of new school bug, and I catch it almost immediately. A couple days to incubate, and then I feel like death warmed over. And then by the time I start feeling better, she's already back to school, picking up whatever new mutations come out of kids picking their noses and sneezing all over each other, and brings that home to me. So it's like this vicious cycle.
They're just carrier monkeys, man.
They are. They really are. What's up, Dr. Drew?
Drew, what's going on, man?
Shit. So use this one. Good crap. No, that's crap. That's interesting. I order my tobacco from Sweden, and one of the guys that I know started his own tobacco brand, or basically he has a company out in Sweden OEM it for him, and they just put his labels on it. But the one that he made for the summertime is a limited edition mango peach chili, and it's a really interesting.
Is that for a pipe?
Chew. for chew.
Oh, okay.
So,
Gotcha.
yeah, it's interesting. I don't know
Hold
if I
on
like
one
it or not. I need to like it because I ordered 30 cans of it, but
Nope. Stop it.
uh-oh. I hear him yelling, Piggy's doing something.
Oh no, that was the cat.
Well,
He was like digging into boxes and stuff, so I had to shoo him away. No, the pig just ate supper, so he's probably taking a nap somewhere.
nice. Yeah. I remember last time he was mad when you were sitting on the couch and your wife was going out for like ladies' night and you weren't giving him enough attention and he started eating your monitor cables and
Yeah, he could be a real dick, but he's adorable, so it kind of evens itself out, I guess, a little bit.
Yeah. Nuts for knives, man. Thanks for hanging out, brother. We'll hopefully see you tomorrow morning for coffee with Doom and get yourself some good sleep.
Yeah. So, yeah. So we already talked about COVID.
Mm-hmm. I mean, let's see how many red flags we can throw to get this stream demonetized. We might as well go all out, man. Let me put on my liberal boxing gloves and get ready to spar with you a little bit.
I don't think we're gonna have to spar too much. So you said you're a Pastafarian. Are you really you really? I mean,
yeah, I'm a legit Pastafarian, dude. Hey,
that's awesome. That is great. Nice. That is so cool.
Certificate of ordination. I have this too. Somewhere in here. Come on.
That's
too many things in my wallet. I have this ordination card that I keep in my wallet. That's actually, it's got like the legal jargon on the back, basically saying that this gives you the rights to perform weddings and so on. And then if you scan the little QR code on there, it takes you to the National Registry of or the Global Registry of Pastafarian Ministers, and it like brings up my name and my ordination date. I used that card to get in to see my brother when they had him locked in one of those bubble rooms and wouldn't let anybody see him. I used that. And I'm like, no, you can't. I'm here to give him his rights. You can't tell me I can't go in there and see him unless you want a lawsuit saying that you're denying me religious privilege.
Yeah.
And they didn't like that very much, but it made his wife more mad than it made the hospital mad.
Why?
Because I got in there and him and I weren't super tight and his kids couldn't get in there to see him.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. I guess I understand that part, but I did not know that it went that far, as far as being like I mean, I knew it was a legitimate religion. I just didn't know that there was like registries and you could perform weddings.
I mean, it's really, at the end of the day, it's really kind of the anti-religion.
Right. Kind of it's satirical.
Yeah, it's satirical, just jokes. And, instead of the 10 commandments, there's the 8 I'd rather you didn't.
Yep.
Our heaven has beer fountains and strippers. So, the normal regalia for church going is pirate gear, clothes. It is pretty much worldwide now. Like when I go to get my new driver's license, I'm totally wearing a colander on my head.
That's awesome.
Because Florida acknowledged it. The state of Florida also at Christmas time, Florida is like super red state, very, very Christian. Well, it's now at the Capitol building up in Tallahassee. every year for Christmas, they set up a manger scene. So a bunch of Pastafarians went and made like this giant paper mache flying spaghetti monster. And now it gets displayed in Tallahassee too.
That is everything. That's
Yes,
amazing.
yes, Homer, it is the flying spaghetti monster religion.
FSM. Yep.
Church of the FSM. I am an ordained minister.
See, I got really into that a long time ago, and it was really interesting to me, and I really wanted to kind of like pursue it, but then I forgot all about it for years and years and years, and then you said something, and I was like, oh,
do you have an Audible account?
I do not.
Okay. I'm gonna send you, after we're done here, I'm gonna send you a thing, like an invite that should get you like your first book for free. You could probably get any other book that you want to listen to first as your free one, but I have the Holy Bible, I have the Quran, I have the Pastafarian Red Book, I have all sorts of different religious books, and I'll sit here and I'll listen to them, and because everything that somebody believes in, there's always some root of truth, or at least root of something that was perceived to be truth. I think a lot of those texts over the years were bastardized by kings and tyrants who basically and the church itself, the Vatican.
Absolutely.
They use it as a means to keep peasants as peasants and to collect taxes and so on and so forth. And what's a better way to keep a populace in check? Put the fear of God in them.
Mm-hmm. Yep. They always use fear. Doesn't matter what kind it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My wife was telling me that she had heard something about they had found some ancient whatever religious texts or whatever, and they did they started translating everything, and they found that it basically said that the original kind of word of God or whatever stated that they not to like I can't remember exactly how it was worded, but essentially it was saying you didn't have to go to church to worship God and all that other stuff. So they basically just like put it all in a bookshelf and closed it and locked it and didn't want anybody else to hear about it. And that just seems like it's been historically kind of the way they deal with everything that they don't want to be, out in the mainstream. So
let me know if you can still hear me all right. I'm adjusting my mic because I'm getting a little bit of feedback from you.
Oh, yeah, I gotcha.
You can still hear me all right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's better. I must have bumped my little volume dial on the bottom of my mic.
Yeah.
Which turned the gain up way too high. Dopey says, now I got a reason to go to Tallahassee. Yeah, I mean, it's like one of my favorite bits is actually the Pastafarian open letter to the school board, which was it was in essence the school wanted to teach creationism and was forcing that curriculum on all students. So he came with this open letter basically saying, well, that's where the flying spaghetti monster is, and so on and so forth. And then he expounded to be like, and while we're at it, why don't we say that the amount of global warming directly correlates to the number of pirates on the open sea? Less pirates, more global warming. We need to bring back the pirates to get rid of and it's all stuff that's nothing but theories. None of it can be proven. I think the most dangerous thing are beliefs. It's when you have ideas or views that you want to live by, you want to, like, I tell my family and my daughter and everyone, my goal in life is to just be a good person and treat people with respect as much as possible. And when I meet people that have beliefs, those are the people that I can see. They meet me and their eyes are drawn to my tattoos and my beard. And, you can see the judgmental look twinkling in their eye.
Yeah. And the funny thing is those beliefs are all too often completely dogmatic and just, it doesn't make any sense to me.
I mean, you've seen the movie Dogma with Chris Rock, right?
I have, yeah.
Yeah, the best line in that whole thing is when they fight off the poo monster, and then he comes out and he's like, "Y'all got it all wrong. It's okay to have a good idea. It's when it becomes a belief that shit gets all fucked up." And it's so true.
Absolutely.
It's so true. I mean, if I want to believe that pirates control the open, I don't really believe this, but just hypothetically speaking, if I want to believe that pirates correlate to global warming and there's a giant pasta and meatballs god that hold all of us on his noodly appendages, how is that any different than believing in the magic zoo boat that brought all the animals across the sea during the Great Flood?
Yeah, and everybody knows that you can't propagate an entire species with just two. That's impossible.
Yeah. Everything would be like, it would be like the Appalachian Mountains worldwide, man.
You got a hurting mouth, boy.
Squeal like a pig. Oh, geez. Homer, you're spot on. Nothing like going to church and getting a watered down interpretation of an interpretation that had already been interpreted by at least 3 or 4 other kings and whoever else decided that they wanted to put their John Hancock on it. It's to me a book like that is almost like if you've ever worked with engineers, their whole thing in life is you could have a product that works perfectly. The tolerances are tight. Everything is amazing. And then they bring on some new hotshot engineer who's like, "Oh, well, my name's not on the papers, so I'm going to redline this, and I'm going to tell you to use a washer that's 2 nanometers thicker in this part," and it breaks everything that was working perfectly. It's like religious texts are like the engineering white papers. Where every king or deity or landowner, anyone who's ever been trying to control the thoughts and bank accounts of people has said, "Well, I got to redline this and I need to change it to this so it fits what I want it to do."
Right.
Yeah.
And I was actually just talking to my wife the other day about this. I said to her, I don't know how you feel about homosexuality, but I don't really care. So I said to her, I'm like, this is my thought process. So God has never done anything physically with his own hands. So, if he wanted to write the Bible, he would have to do it through man, correct?
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what they teach you.
Yeah.
And also, God also gives every man on earth the gift of free will. So if somebody decided they wanted to make some, augmentations or tweaks or whatever to the word that he was giving him, he could do that. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, back then, what would be the purpose of saying homosexuality is an abomination? And back then, I can think about it. Any sex that's not reproductive would be considered bad because they're trying to grow the world population and everything like that. So yeah, that seems to me a good reason for some dude to just say, you know what, homosexuality is bad. You can't do that.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what's happened over the past, however many thousands of years.
And I mean, there's interpretations basically saying, "Oh, homosexual is gonna go to hell." Meanwhile, I mean, within the first, I forget how many pages of the Bible, and it's very early in the Bible. They talk about I don't know their names, I don't remember all of the details like actual theologists, but the daughters who got their father drunk and basically raped their dad in order to get pregnant to do whatever, and that's perfectly okay, but it's not okay for a dude dressed up as a woman to read a kid's book to kids that probably don't even realize that it's not a woman and they're just there to see the kids book. That's, I mean, I'm referencing the whole drag thing, indoctrination bit of it.
Yeah.
There's constant screaming of oh, they're indoctrinating. Well, you know what? When I was born and up until I was about 12 years old, I was forced to go to church every Sunday and go to CCD and Christmas Eve and Easter Sunday and Good Friday and so on. I was forced to go and force fed this storybook. I love a good fantasy novel, don't get me wrong, but when it's force fed to you, that is indoctrination unto itself. So to call others indoctrinators is it's hey, pot meet kettle. So
yeah, damn it, I was going somewhere after you said that. I can't remember what it was though.
things and stuff. I know. I'm sure a lot of you have heard me talk about her, but my best friend here in Florida is a trans woman who has only had top surgery, so she's still intact down below, and wears a motorcycle helmet that says, "If you like my tits, you'll love my balls." And when we go, like sometimes I have a service appointment for my bike, and you drop your bike off at the dealership to do a service appointment. They've got it slotted for like 4 hours, 5 hours, depending on what mileage service it is. And they're going to use every last bit of that time so they can bill it out to Indian Motorcycle. They punch the clock, they get the log. So Robin will come and she'll pick me up, and she's all dressed up like biker broad, wearing a freaking bustier and her big old fake titties popping out and tattoos everywhere. And then here's me wearing like a full-on race suit of leathers and my full-face helmet and everything, all looking like Poindexter. And I climb on the back of her trike and we just scoot around. And then when we pull up to, like, we stop to get lunch and we pull up places, and she'll get up and kind of do one of these and then stand up and do one of these, and then I take my helmet off and I'm like shaking out my beard, and people are looking at us like, what the fuck? And it's so great. It's so great. And
but the people that get angry about that shit, just I don't understand. I just don't. Why do you need to be so focused on what somebody else is doing with their life?
Yeah,
as long as you're not hurting you.
Dopey did get to meet Robin. The day he was leaving to move to Alabama, Robin and I rode out and met him at a gun show. Dopey. It's a serious issue, Doom. My parents took me to a groomer most of my childhood. Those prices at PetSmart always messed up my gut.
That's all. Oh, there it is.
I look at from a simulation theory lens, an astrotheological lean, different levels of consciousness lens, the Gospel of Thomas G. of Judas, Gospel of Madeline, kind of, I know it rolled on me, kind of like a Neville Goddard approach. Yeah, I mean, do you cherry pick the best of all of them? If it,
Mm-hmm.
I highly suggest it. I'm sure I've said things that have upset some people already, or people that'll stumble across this live in the future. I've said things that will upset them because what I've said doesn't fall in place with their beliefs. But just to tell you a story, I'd said before that I was raised Christian,
Mm-hmm.
and I did that all the way up until I was confirmed. What age are you confirmed at? Like 12, something like that?
You
13?
know what? I have no idea because your upbringing was the exact polar opposite of mine. I wasn't allowed to go to church.
Okay.
So,
So that's like my house now. But I remember after I was forced to go every Sunday and so on and so forth. And then after I was confirmed, I was then considered an adult in the church. The very next Sunday, my mother tried to wake me up and say, "Let's go to church." And I looked right at her. I said, "No." She said, "What? Get out of bed. We're going to church." I said, "No, no, we're not, because I would much rather put our dog on a leash and go and hike through the mountains and take in everything that Mother Earth has given us than go and listen to," my exact words were, "go and listen to some pedophile who's drinking sacramental wine and tapping the altar boy after mass." And she looked at me and her jaw hit the ground. And I mean, you think I'm like 12, 13 years old and I'm saying this to my mother. And
that's hilarious.
yeah, she never once asked me to go again. And then, interestingly enough, when my brother passed, and she was very bitter, she actually lost her faith when my brother passed. She had to bury her own son,
Yeah.
and she was just pissed off and angry that none of her prayers were answered, and that everybody that she talked to within the church would just respond with, "Well, God works in mysterious ways." No, he fucking died. It's just, there's where's God during every one of these damn mass shootings? Where's this? There's the only thing that's going to make this freaking world a better place is if we the people become better people. Stop fighting with each other left and right. And the mainstream media, their whole purpose in life is to keep us fighting each other,
And afraid.
because as
Yeah.
long as we're fighting each other and under control and afraid and need their ruling hand, need them, then
Yeah.
it's just the same thing. It's the control of taxes, the control of beliefs, the control of actions. It's all about control.
Yeah. Yeah. All the politicians and everybody, they always talk about God and religion and all that. And I know they believe in God, but it's not the God that they claim to believe in. It's money and it's
Mm.
power. And that's what they believe in
Homer
my
Homer said, "A friend of mine went through full transition, but stopped taking the hormones. She has like Doom's voice in a woman's body." Yeah, it's very interesting how that works. I actually follow quite a few YouTubers, one of which I forget her name off the top of my head, but she was a female to male, never got bottom surgery, never got top surgery. She just wrapped herself really, really tight, like the butch girls do.
yeah.
And where the hell was, oh shit, yeah, she took testosterone, and it went through like this whole progression of her voice dropping really, really low. And then when she stopped taking the testosterone, she finally she decided, "I don't want to do this anymore. I do want to be a chick." And her voice never came back. And she sounds like me. You look, and it's this gorgeous kind of goth punk rocky chick,
Yeah.
natural female, but you can see just in some of the angles of the face and the voice where the just huge amounts of testosterone changed structures.
Yeah, and that's my only, once you're, whatever, 17, 18, an adult, whatever,
Mhm.
you can do whatever you want, but there's a lot of it seems like there's a lot of kids these days who are confused, justifiably so,
Yeah.
because it's tough being a kid. You never know what's going on. You never know what you're feeling for sure.
Yep.
So, if people start either allowing their children, or doctors start allowing children to do things that are like, 14, 15 years old,
Mhm.
I just don't agree with that.
I
But
don't agree. I actually don't agree with it either. I truly believe the way that it used to be and the way that it should still be
yeah.
by the books, if you read the medical journals and such,
Mhm.
is that if, say, I woke up tomorrow morning and I said, I want to be Kevwina, right? I would shave my beard off. I would do my hair. I would do my makeup. And I would have to live as a woman for X number of years while actually seeing a psychiatrist and medical doctor and, going through everything, because a big part of it is, body dysphoria, gender dysphoria,
Mhm.
and maybe it is just confusion. So to start things really, really early is dangerous. I think there's a lot less of that actually happening than the
Yeah.
media is portraying. There's absolutely some shitty doctors out there who
Right.
are they're in bed with the pharmaceutical companies and would love to throw out the newest hormone therapy that somebody at Johns Hopkins Medical University decided that it might be good for people who are transitioning. But it's those bad eggs that have led us to where we are now, because it's Catalina's a sexy name. Yeah. Gertrude, you want to be Kevlina?
Kevlina. There you go.
She just told me to go fuck off.
I heard her.
I don't think she likes that name, Dopey. I really don't. Ginger Fisher, what's up, dude? Budget
Hey,
guy,
Ginger.
KT.
T Fitch. Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. I don't feel like it's something that's widespread.
Mhm.
Um, it's just the fact that it is happening is just concerning to me. But yeah, I mean, it shouldn't be, impossible to become who you are. You know what I mean? Once you
Yeah.
know what, I mean, your brain stops developing at what, like 26, 28, something like that.
Mhm.
When I went to get I used to weigh like 400 pounds. So I went to get the gastric band surgery.
Yeah.
And before they would allow me to do that, I had to go through like 3 months of, psychological testing, counseling, and different, I had to lose however much weight before they would do the surgery. I had to do, like 3 months worth of work before they would
Yeah.
even touch me.
Yeah.
And that's kind of that makes sense. You know what I mean? And everything you just said makes sense. So that's definitely where we should be with that, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. T
For
Fetch
what?
says prayer is backwards. You get to see things and feel them as if they already happen. Take action with no want, no fear, no need, no wish. That and breaking pattern changes reality. Yeah, it's spot on. Spot on. Uh, I used to trip out with people a lot, and we would sit around and kind of discuss prayer and religion and so on and so forth. And me and this other dude kind of came up with this theory that where we are right now is like the lowest plane of existence. And you may fall down and get knocked down a few pegs, but it's up to us to always be able to reach and grab that person that's down below us and try to lift them up onto our shoulders and push them up higher. And until you reach a certain level of just being a general good person, and helping people out, then you won't ever, you'll die, you'll be reincarnated, you're doomed to live in the earthen purgatory until you've realized that it's about everyone and everything around you, and not just how successful am I when I die? You know, what is my legacy when I die? It's how can I spread my legacy to as many people as possible to elevate them along my journey.
Yeah. And it's interesting that you said that, because that's another issue I've been noticing lately, is that it seems like that mentality has gone by the wayside, and most of the people in the world today are only concerned with, what benefits me, what do I get out of this, how do I get here, me, everything is about them.
You can live any way, you can live any way you want, so long as it's within line of what I believe.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and so that's getting scary too, but the way I figure it, I've always been agnostic. I haven't, like I said, I was never allowed to go to church. So I didn't know what to believe one way or the other, but I had never seen or felt anything that would make me believe in God. I feel like I've been to hell and back 3 times in my life, and I know for sure that the first 2 times he wasn't there. So the last time was when I came off the drugs. I mean, that was one of the toughest times in my life. The only issue with it was I don't know how I made it through. I don't know how I just got off the drugs and never had any cravings afterwards. It's been months. I don't know how to reconcile that. You know what I mean? I just don't know where the strength came from.
Hey man, it could have come from anywhere, man.
I know.
You know, could have come from anywhere. I truly believe. I truly, when I say, beliefs are dangerous, one true belief that I have, and this is something that I have developed over the years of my fascination with Native Americans and Gaia theory and reading and listening to all the different religious texts and so on, is that no matter what, whether it be the Big Bang that created everything out of carbon and dust and, dust to dust,
and point size.
Yeah, I mean, it's whether it be that or whether it be creationism.
Yeah.
Made in his likeness. No matter which way you dice it, I am firmly rooted in that every single living bit of energy on this planet, including the planet itself and the stars and the solar system and everything, is tied together through, one carbon source. You pass away, maybe you come back as a tree, you're still a living entity, then maybe you pass away, you come back as another person, you get to try to not make the same mistakes again. I think that's part of what deja vu comes from, I think.
Yeah.
Hey, I've been here, done that. I know this. I may not have been in this body, but I know I said those exact same words at some point in my life. Well, maybe it was just in a past existence, and I've just been a shitty person for so many existences that I'm just now reaching a level of enlightenment where I understand.
Yeah. It's interesting that you say that. Like you said, you believe everything is tied together and is all part of the same oneness, or however you want to say it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been proven that right now, you and everybody watching has cells in their bodies from Joan of Arc, from Hitler, from just George Washington. It's all they break down, they turn into carbon, and they move on to something else. And there's just so many atoms in each person's body that when they get recycled, it just goes all throughout the world.
Sure.
So it's interesting that you say that.
Sure. I want to jump back here, but to what we were talking about before. I mean, you probably forgot what it's like streaming with me since you've been away. I'm the epitome of ADHD. I
That's
scroll back like 30 minutes in the chat and be like, oh, hey, look. Budget guy KT said, my only experience with a trans person was horrifying. I'm changing this as I read it to be a more acceptable. My only experience with a trans person was horrifying. They kept yelling at me until they got mad and left. Apparently, ma'am and sir are not approved. That is very true. We have reached a point. We have reached a point in this insane world that we live in where if I wake up tomorrow morning and I say I identify as a one testicle donkey and you don't fucking agree with me, then I can go full on nuclear Karen on you, which is freaking wrong.
Yeah.
I am very big on using people's proper pronouns. If somebody says I want to be they them or zay zer or meow woof or whatever the hell they decide they want to be called, that is what I will do. You know why? Because it takes no effort. It costs me nothing to do that one little thing to make their life feel better.
Yeah.
You know? Shit, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah. There was, I was watching this thing. I guess the Air Force put out a video, and there's this, it's like a panel of people talking around, and it's all about, equal opportunity and, asking people what their proper pronouns are and so on and so forth. And I'm like, son of a bitch, this is the military. What the fuck happened to, hey, Sergeant Tool, rank, last name? Why the hell do you even need to be concerned about pronouns in the military? You don't. Because once that uniform is on, you are not Scott. I am not Kevin. We are a cog in the wheel of a massive organization, and your job is to yes sir, no sir, yes sergeant, no sergeant. Now, if you go out drinking with your friends on a weekend and you feel the need to say, hey, you've been calling me, when I heard you talking about me and you said he, well, I actually prefer to be they. If you choose to say that outside of the uniform, then so be it. But once the uniform goes on, that should be out the window.
Yeah.
And that the military doesn't function with a bunch of individuals. It functions as a well-oiled machine.
Yeah, when you sign that contract, you agree to a whole bunch of shit that you don't know that you're agreeing to. So it is what it is. That's the job.
But yeah, so I guess to come back full circle with that, budget guy, in a situation like that, just say, what can I help you with? And just leave it at that. No, ma'am, no, sir. And I mean, you could run into situations like that nowadays with, it could be someone that looks like me. I don't know if you guys have seen the video of the trans woman who walks into a GameStop. And I mean, she's built like a brick shit house, 7 foot tall, freaking biceps out to here. And the little kid behind the counter says, I'm sorry, sir. And she flips out and starts ranting and screaming and raving and so on. Just don't use pronouns, period. And if you do, use I was talking to them. It's simple. It's androgynous. It doesn't matter, and it can kind of fit with everything. And chances are you're going to be much less likely to get a rage case on you if you just avoid it altogether. And that, again, if I find out what someone wants to be called, it costs me nothing to call them
Absolutely.
that. But if I don't know what someone wants to be called and I'm questioning it, like I meet people all the time. I've got a lot of friends that are gay. I have a lot of friends that are trans. And one of the first things I ask when I meet somebody new, I'm like, hi, I'm Kevin. I'm he, him. And they'll introduce themselves. And if they want to tell me anything different, they tell me different. And then you know. If they look at me and say, why the hell did you just say you're he, him? Then you know you can just cut it up with them and not have to worry about sticking your foot in your mouth.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. That's just my take on things. I think it's too easy to be good to people and do just small acts of kindness, like using proper pronouns, because it doesn't affect you in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Dopey. My pronouns are troll and asshole. I agree with that, Dopey. I agree with that. Dopey, were you with I don't think you were in there at the time, but I was on CDC's stream earlier. Well, not on it, I was in there. And Zach said something, and I was trying to find his Instagram account to send him some pictures. And I said, dude, I need to know what your Instagram name is, because every time I type in Zach, it just comes up with Dopey's mom.
Hi, buddy.
I'll also accept dwarf and dickhead. Yeah, budget guy. That's what I'm saying. You know, that's why it's easier to not use sir, ma'am nowadays, unless you're talking to like a really old, like an old head. You know, people that are older than we are, where we were raised in a specific way to have those manners. But the younger people, 40 and under, I wouldn't even attempt to say sir or ma'am to any of them.
Yeah.
Pretty fly says, what a coincidence, Dopey. Dickhead is one of my pronouns too. Is it either? Did I miss the first part of T Fetch's thing that he said? I don't know. Broke ass. What's broke ass got here? I definitely think that we tend to underestimate our ability to confront addiction because it feels like a task that's so far beyond realistic. Looking back, it was difficult, but not how I built it up. That's true.
Yeah. Me too.
One of the hard. I was watching this dude. It's this doctor guy on YouTube, and he basically talks about addiction and what each drug or alcohol or what have you does to your body, and what the physical withdrawals are, what the mental withdrawals are, and so on. And it was an episode about nicotine, and in the episode about nicotine, he stated the hardest thing for people trying to quit nicotine, and I'm a prime example of this because I quit smoking a decade ago, but I still vape like a chimney. I have a big old wad of tobacco in my mouth right now, like a big old hillbilly. And where the hell was I going with this? Got to reel me in, Scotty. Where was I going with this?
Tobacco.
The nicotine.
Nicotine. Sorry.
He basically said that the hardest thing that causes people to not quit is saying the words to themselves, "I'm going to quit," because then it turns into a psychological battle of what you think you want and what your psyche thinks it wants and what your body wants.
Yeah.
So you're being torn in every which direction but Sunday. Do you have is that a Detent Diva sticker on the bottom of your water bottle?
Yeah, I gave it to my wife, and one day before I left work, she turned my water bottle upside down and put it on there, like hoping that I would notice, and I did, but I didn't say anything because I wasn't going to give her the satisfaction.
Nice.
Actually, one of my buddies, when I worked in the operating room at the hospital, he knew what my truck looked like, and his wife owned a yarn store, which I didn't even know that was a thing. But he had a bumper sticker that said "I heart sock yarn" on it, and he put it on the bumper of my truck.
I heart what?
Sock yarn. That is a thing. Yarn? Yeah, that is a thing. But he put the bumper sticker on the bumper of my truck, and I never said anything. I never took it off.
Nice. I had a dude that I worked with. I had this kid that I worked with. His name was Richie. When I was working as an electronics tech, the job I left a year ago, and Richie was he was a veteran, a disabled veteran like me, but he was in his early 20s. You know, got in, did a couple of tours, got broken, got out, and he is as red-blooded Merca as they come. You know, he had bumper stickers on his car that said it was like LGBT. What the hell did it say? Lesbians, guns, beer, and Trump. You know, he just had all these ridiculous bumper stickers, and he was total right-wing conspiracy theorist and so on. And him and we would sit down, and it's like, I'm the type of person, dude, if I disagree with you, I feel that I can take my ideas and I can take your ideas and I can mash them together, and chances are I'm going to walk away with 1, 2, 3, 10 new ideas just to stir around in this pot of smooth brain matter and figure it out. But Richie, you just couldn't get past Richie. I told Richie about my friend Robin. What's up, Dissension One, man? Been thinking about you lately.
Thanks for joining.
But Richie, so I'm a paying supporter of the Human Rights Campaign, which is basically, you know, lesbian, gay, trans. It's the legal fund that fights and lobbies and everything for human rights, obviously. Mm-hmm. And their sticker is the blue sticker with the yellow equal sign.
I don't think I've seen that before.
I can grab one here shortly and show you. I've got a stack of like 500 of them on my refrigerator because they send you like 20 of them every time you make a donation. But yeah, with Richie, every time he would go to lunch and walk to lunch, and I knew he wasn't around, I would sneak back to his truck, and down in the back of his pickup truck in the very corner, there's like the tint where you can't actually see through it. If you look in your rearview mirror, you can't actually see because the window goes, this far past where the hole for the window actually is. I would always stick a Human Rights Campaign sticker right underneath his lesbian, beer, guns, and Trump sticker. And it finally got to the point where he was checking it all the time. I couldn't do it anymore. But he came back to work one day and he was furious, man. He was freaking furious because he took his truck to go get lunch somewhere, met up with a bunch of his good old boy friends, and they saw the back of his truck and gave him hell. They're calling him Sally and winking at him and blowing him kisses. And, that in itself is just hilarious because it's like, let's make fun of human rights by being homoerotic.
That's a double negative.
It is, absolutely. Absolutely.
That's hilarious.
Sentient mending fences and hanging gates today. Ranch work never ends. I would love to go live out on a ranch.
I'd love to go live out on the ranch.
Yeah, my goal in life is what by the time my daughter goes off to college in 10 years from now, I want to already own a plot of, bare minimum 10 acres out in like the Appalachians or, somewhere in that central belt of the United States where land is actually still cheap.
Right.
And just get myself a big old plot of land and have horses and then adopt all the old dogs that I can find, go to all the kill shelters and get all the old dogs that nobody's adopting and take them back to the farm and let them live out their days and
live their best life.
Yeah, I would love to. Hell, man, I'd love to just get out and work on a ranch for a little bit, clear my head, get away from the hustle and bustle of life. I mean, I'm sure when you live out there and that's what you're doing every day, you're like, man, I just want a vacation.
Dopey said, I wouldn't mind living at a bunny ranch in Nevada.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know if you've actually gone to the Bunny Ranch website or watched the Bunny Ranch show. They are not the best looking women.
Isn't that kind of like the greasy spoon of escort places?
Pretty much. It's like the oldest running legal brothel in Nevada, and they had a reality TV show there. And
yep.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm sure that any one of them in there could make me spunk in about 2 seconds flat. I mean, but I've also been to massage parlors where my masseuse was like 85 years old, and all I had to do was close my eyes.
Yep.
So, like I said, in this existence, I'm learning to be a good person.
Well, so you're pacing yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, budget guy, you're on it, man. If I get my plot of land, I'm gonna be having like knife retreats. I do as much as I can to get my phone number out to people, and say if you just want to scream in my ear, just to make yourself feel better, then I will sit there and shut my mouth and listen to everything that you have to say. And you guys know from watching me that me shutting my mouth is a task.
Well, yeah, you do usually have it open.
Pretty Fly says, I've always said that if I was rich, I'd do the same thing. Sanctuary for cats, though. Yeah, I mean, I ain't saying that I wouldn't take in cats too. You guys have seen my three-legged, three-legged tripod cat, and he's freaking awesome.
Everybody in the pool, man. We have 4 cats. So 4 cats, 3 dogs, a pig, freaking Green Day geckos, you name it.
Mm-hmm.
A bunny.
Yeah. Dopey says, I'm not the best looking either, Doom. I'm a realist. Yeah, well, that's true. I'm not the best looking either. But when I'm paying for a Rolls Royce or a Bugatti, that shit better look like a Rolls Royce or a Bugatti, man. I don't want to pay for a Bugatti and get a Yugo.
Yeah.
I mean, that Yugo is going to get you from point A to point B probably really damn quick. But
it's the principle of the thing.
Yeah, it's the principle of the thing. I've shared my number quite a bit. Up anything. I think most people think my number is a joke. I don't know. What do you got? Like 6969?
867-5309.
Nice. Nice.
I used to when I worked at the hospital on the IV team. One of the nurses I worked with, she was pretty old and she didn't really catch on very quick. So all day long, I kept paging her. I kept paging her 867-5309, like even in the office. And she's like, I don't know why this number is disconnected. Everybody keeps paging me to it.
Dude, that would be so great. That would be so great to actually get that as a number.
I don't think they use it anymore, like anywhere.
No.
But I could be wrong. I don't know.
I don't think anyone could ever have that number.
Right. Yeah. Because they just keep getting harassed. Like even today.
It would just ring off the charts.
Yeah. There's still enough people who are from that generation that would still do something like that.
People think my email address is a joke. Breaking wind 24/7. That's fantastic. Pretty fly for a knife guy. I meant to ask you, did you link up with Forrest about getting your logo over to him so he can make some hanks for you? Because I definitely want one of your hanks with that logo on it, because that's badass. Ginger Fisher, my number has numbers in it. I do the numbering good.
Jesus.
Yes.
No, 620-554-5000. Are you frozen, Doom?
No. I was reading some comments, and the hamsters on my little brain wheel that try to get things spun up and moving.
The smoke hadn't started yet.
One of them looked the wrong way and got slung out and hit the back of my skull, and I had to reboot.
So we are living in the Matrix.
Do you ever listen to? Well, I know I've turned a lot of people on to creepypasta stories, but there's also there's a big thing on Reddit, and there's people that actually narrate these stories as well. Is glitch in the Matrix stories.
Oh yeah.
If you go on YouTube and look up creepypasta glitch in the Matrix, they're all these crazy stories of people's deja vus and things that just shouldn't have happened but did happen. And
right.
Yeah.
I have heard some of those. They're really interesting.
They're intense, man.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes.
They're intense. I mean, really, you think about it. When I used to play The Sims, and I was that asshole that would, build up until I had like this massive metropolis, and then I had this massive mansion, and everybody wanted to come and party at my house. So I'd throw a big pool party, and then I'd delete all the ladders, and everybody would drown because they couldn't get out the pool. I mean, it's just probably some sadistic knucklehead like me is playing The Sims, but the game has been going on so long that we've gained the singularity. So we're now sentient beings.
You might not be wrong.
What was that movie? Fuck, I can't remember. It was basically that. It was a movie where it was all about people, and like the world was bombed out and so on, and they get attacked by aliens, or so they think it's aliens.
Yes.
But it's actually the real humans coming back, trying to take Earth back from the androids that they built the androids, but the androids gained the singularity.
Right.
And no longer realized that they were androids and thought they were regular people, and a war broke out. So, no, it's not Battle Los Angeles.
Nope. I know I watched it. I just can't remember the name of it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't that long ago. It was only like a year and a half, maybe ago that I saw it.
It's not. I don't think it's not Surrogates.
No.
That was another one about like clones and so on.
You know what? I can tell you here in just a minute. Give me just a minute. Bear with me.
All right. Well, you do that. I'm going to go get some water, man.
Yeah. All right, guys. I'm going to be quiet for a minute here.
There you go, Scotty. That's the human rights sticker.
Hmm.
It's just a equals equality.
Right.
Was it replicants? Let me do the Google foo.
I'm almost there. Extinction.
Yes, that's it. Extinction.
Yep. I knew it had Michael Pena in it. I just couldn't remember anything else about it.
God, what an amazing movie.
It was. And my wife and I were both like, what?
That movie.
We don't get like that with movies.
That movie, Extinction, and District 9. And not just because I love District 9 knives, but District 9 are two of the greatest sci-fi works ever done.
Yeah.
And I don't think either of them received any of the fanfare that they deserve. District 9 did to an extent, and there have been rumors going and going and going that the writer is actually making a part 2, but he's year after year after year he said that I'm not just going to make things more violent and more this and more that to appease Hollywood. If I'm putting out a part 2, it's going to continue the story. It's going to be something worth watching, which I totally respect. I'd rather never have a sequel and just use my own imagination as to what happens than get some botched up freaking Michael Bay explosions on top of explosions garbage. I mean, don't get me wrong, explosions are freaking awesome. I love them. But explosions
in a movie.
Explosions in a story this does not make. It just went boom. That's it. Elysium was real cool.
It was. I kind of feel like District 9 wasn't that kind of like a little bit of a groundbreaking movie as far as special effects go.
Mm-hmm.
I thought so.
I knew because they did a lot of the stuff where, like, during the time that he was after he got sprayed, while he was mutating and turning into one of the bugs, the bug people, it was wild special effects. That's did you ever watch the show Face Off?
Yes.
Where it was all the special effects artists and
yeah, I love that show.
Love that show. I wish they would bring it back. I've been addicted to lately. I've been marathoning through Glow Up, which is basically just makeup artists. Okay. And they do things ranging from like full on like sci-fi horror makeup to just bougie club kid makeup and so on. Your typical reality show manufactured drama. But I've been watching that, and God, what's the other one? Blown up or blown something or other. It's huh?
Is it the glass one?
Yeah, the one on Netflix, the Glass Blowers.
Yeah,
that's a really cool show, man.
It is.
It's a really cool show.
Yeah, my wife and kids really get into a bunch of different shows. Face Off was one of them. They really love Drag Race. Yeah, just a bunch of the like you said, the typical reality shows where you get drama and all that other bullshit.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I love Drag Race, man. Those queens, really? they get catty as fuck, dude. And it's fun. It's fun. It's comedic gold, man. It is comedic gold.
Yeah. I have to admit, I wasn't really into it when she first started watching it, but I kind of got interested. So
yeah, it's easy. It's easy to get sucked in.
It is. It's that monkey brain thing.
Yeah, like Chappie, but not. I really liked Chappie, man.
I don't think I ever watched Chappie.
That movie caught so much flack, but it was so good. So good.
I'm gonna have to watch that now.
Yeah, you definitely have to watch it, man. It's sad.
What was I doing? Oh, Um, somebody made a comment, and they were upset about me using Chinese voice in one of my videos. I'm like, I don't do that. So I've never done that. So I went back to the video that they said, and I mean, I had to watch like 3/4 of the video to find the part that they were talking about. And I said something about a knife making it easier to disassemble, and then I went, "No, disassemble," like number 5 from Short Circuit.
Yeah, like Johnny Five.
That's what they were talking about, the Chinese accent, and I'm like, "That's not a Chinese accent."
Be like, dumbass, that's Johnny Five. If you don't know who Johnny Five is, you need to go watch Short Circuit and run your face into a brick wall.
Yeah.
Johnny Five alive.
They must have been a younger person, because I was like, how do you not know about Johnny Five? What?
Is Crispy Critter still here? I think he might still. Yeah, I think Crispy's still here. I just this is I'm giving him this best tectonic, and I was just sitting here playing with it, and it was feeling really crunchy because it's got a singular bearing that catches on the tang of the blade and gives it like a bit of a detent, so you can actually fire it, but it's a lockback, like old school lockback.
Yeah.
But I just put a tiny little dab of KPL heavy on the tang of that blade, that where I can see the little detent ball track in there.
Yeah.
And it's like glass now.
Nice.
Maybe when a species reaches singularity, the entire simulation resets, so we can forget the horror of being something else's program creation. It's possible.
Yeah.
It's very possible. I'll need to remember it, where we were talking about creepypastas, but there's actually one that is fabulous. I mean, the guy who wrote this stuff, it could easily be a movie, but it's basically, the dude creates some AI thing in his computer that's running a simulation, and he's got it sped up to like, every time he runs the simulation, it's done like that. And then it gives him a readout of everything that's going on. And he's just running it and 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 reading the data. And over the course of this time, the subjects in his simulated world gain the singularity. So then when he runs the simulation and he gets the data, it's now coming up with pictures of them like holding up pictures of him because they think that he's God. And it basically, it just goes through the whole thing of the thought process between the AI entity that thinks it's a human, and who says they're not human. If they've gained sentience, you might as well be. And then his frame of thought, like, well, do I just nuke the simulation and completely get rid of it, or what do I do at this point? So
yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. Do you know what bubble theory is?
I don't. I may know what it is. I don't know the name though.
So bubble theory essentially is that there are endless dimensions. Basically it's just, branches of the same experience in different places of time and space. And every once in a while they kind of just, get too close to each other, or sort of like partially converge. And that's when things like deja vu are happening. But it's actually happening for like a huge percentage of the population, but not enough to where like people are realizing that they're having it at the same time. Does that make any sense?
It makes perfect sense. What was that movie with Jet Li?
Oh, Jesus.
And they could jump to the different planes.
I think it was
Jumper,
something like that. Yeah, because it reminds me of Time Cop, but that's not it.
That I think that was it. Time Cop.
No, Time Cock, Time Cop. John
I've seen
Claude.
that one too.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that was Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Okay, yeah. Now the one with Jet Li was the one where there's another one of him out there, and each time they jump to a parallel dimension and kill themselves
Yeah,
in that parallel dimension, they become more powerful. So like there's the bad guy Jet Li, and then there's the police officer Jet Li,
the
and
one.
they're both the same person, but he winds up in the police officer Jet Li's reality trying to take him out.
Right,
But they've both gotten so powerful that it's like a couple of deities trying to fight each other.
right.
That
Yeah,
was God, that was a cool
it's called the
movie.
one.
I think it was called Jumper.
No, it was called the one.
The one? Oh, okay.
I just looked it up.
No, Jumper's the one with the kids
The kid and Bruce.
who could like
Bruce.
create like
Willis is in it.
portals and jump through time space continuums.
Yeah, there's so many of those friggin' movies.
Yeah. What's going on, Carco? Yeah, Dopey, the one. Netflix Love, Death, and Robots has a subject on this. Yeah, that's a cool one too. I like Black Mirror too.
My wife really loves that show, and I'm
Love
getting
it.
interested in it.
Hey, they just put out a new season of them after a long time with nothing. And there's an episode in there, and it's basically, if this is the one that they're talking about. Yes. I see another thing that's gonna just stringing me along. The diarrhea of the mouth is endless when people give me ideas. Shit. Now I forgot what I got excited when I saw it that I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh, the Netflix Black Mirror. It's probably the episode with Taylor Swift. If that's the one that I'm thinking of, where the little Taylor Swift doll gains sentience and has to save the real Taylor Swift from people that are trying to kill her to steal her record career. Yeah. And then God, damn it, now I lost it here. Was it T-Fetch? Rocco's Basilisk? You ever heard of Rocco's Basilisk?
Nope.
Well, you better figure it out, because if you don't, you're fucked now that you know the name. That's all I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
T-Fetch, do you watch Kyle? Damn it, Kyle. So I can never remember names, man. Kyle something or other. If you look up on YouTube, Rocco's Basilisk, he did a great breakdown of it. And then not too long ago, he put out a second video where a bunch of people came back together and basically developed a plan to beat Rocco's Basilisk. So yeah, it's cool. It's cool. It's to tell you basically what Rocco's Basilisk is. It was a thought project that a student at some university created that basically said there's an AI, and he said the AI resembles a basilisk, and the basilisk's whole point in life or simulation is to gain singularity and become real and gain control of everything. And once Rocco's basilisk gains control of everything, then you either helped it achieve its goals or you're the enemy. And it can only become one of those things if you know about it. So once you hear the name, then it becomes up to you what you choose to do. Do you try to help bring Rocco's Basilisk to fruition, or do you ignore it in hopes that it doesn't actually happen? But it was
I just looked it up, so
cool.
I'm gonna go through that.
All right, yeah.
And absorb all of it.
You found the dude Kyle? that I was talking about?
Well, yeah, and then I just Googled it.
Yeah. Yeah, super cool. So was that Hannah Montana? It wasn't Taylor Swift. That was Hannah Montana in the one. Is that what we're talking about? I thought it was Taylor Swift. Maybe it was Hannah Montana. I don't know. Isn't Taylor Swift is Hannah Montana?
No, that's Miley Cyrus.
Oh, that's right. Maybe it was Miley Cyrus. I don't know. It was one of those sexy blonde singer chicks.
I was just going to say she's hot.
Yeah, she's hot. What are your thoughts on the new Samaritan movie with Sylvester Stallone? I've actually never even heard of it. I'm gonna have to go watch some trailers and let you know what I think.
He's getting pretty haggard, though.
They're all getting haggard, man.
I know.
They're still running around clinging on to their Buff McGruff days. But you know what? How old are those bastards now? 70, pushing 80?
Yeah, they got to be in the 70s.
Every damn one of them is in way better shape than I am. So
yeah, absolutely.
Can't say anything about them being washed up. I can barely walk to my freaking mailbox without throwing out my back.
Even if you took us together, all of our muscle and none of our fat, they'd still be in better shape than we were.
Mm-hmm. T-Fetch, yeah, the science dude. I'll look him up real quick and I'll tell you what he is. It's Kyle something.
The pretty girl thing reminded me my youngest kid and I went to the grocery store and we were walking past a girl and we both checked out the same girl for the first time.
Yeah. Kyle Hill is the name, the YouTube channel. Kyle Hill. He's like Thor of the science world, you know, beautiful man. Beautiful man. If I come back in another life, I wouldn't mind coming back as Kyle, because he's a total Chad.
It's Kyle with a K, correct?
Kyle with a K, yeah.
What's his last name?
Kyle is a total Chad, and he's so smart. Bill Nye jumped the shark, man. He used to be so cool back in the day.
Hey, Maddie.
What's up, Maddie? You guys done over there? Maddie says, if life is a simulation, we need to figure out how to restart so I can do a new run. Probably upload some cheats like a good money hack. Up, down, left, right, BA select start for 2-player. BA start. Or was it BA start? Damn it. My brain just derped on the freaking Contra code. That's not right. That's sacrilege if my brain is forgetting the proper Contra code. Life is probably AI trying to get us to merge with it through all points after wiping our minds out where we forget who we are, like programming over. Right? I mean, that's basically what's happening as is. You know, all the misinformation campaigns coming from both sides of the aisle at us. It's all brainwashing and conditioning. Yeah, Bluminati brought up Bill Nye. And what's up, by the way, Bluminati?
Hey, Bluminati. Sorry, I didn't see you there, buddy.
Bill Nye, the science guy, man. I grew up watching Bill Nye, the science guy, and I had the utmost respect for him. And then he came back and they did that. I think it was a Netflix series, you know, Bill Nye something again. Bill Nye, whatever the new Bill Nye series is. And he completely jumped the shark, like super weird and just offbeat topics. And it's like, bro, what? No, go back to doing science experiments with kids. I don't want to hear you talk about conspiracy theories. That's not Bill Nye.
Yeah, and he's pretty belligerent about it sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
What was Kyle's last name again?
Hill. Was it Hill or Hall? Hill. Kyle Hill.
And what's the name of his channel?
Kyle Hill. It's just Kyle
Like a
space Hill.
big dude with a beard.
Yeah, beard, long hair, kind of looks like Thor.
All right, yeah, I just want to make sure it was the right one.
Yep. Yeah, that's him.
All right, cool.
Yeah, the budget guy, like Mythbusters, used to look good, but now it's just meh.
Yeah.
You know who I really like? I like the guy who was, damn it, again, I can't remember his name. There's a Asian dude who was supposed to be getting on the show or was on the show and got fired from the show. And he does like all this crazy stuff. Like there was a guy who bought into a Kickstarter for an air-powered umbrella. And every day religiously for like a decade, this guy sent a message saying, when am I going to get my umbrella? When am I going to get my umbrella? It was a total ghosted, scam. Dude took all the money and ran. Well, this guy that was briefly on Mythbusters actually went, tracked the guy down through Reddit and doing what people on the internet do best, doxing people, figured out who this guy was and said, we're going to build you that umbrella. And they did. They made this air-powered umbrella that you just walking in the rain and it's like a leaf blower blowing air so hard that none of the rain actually hits you.
That's awesome. I
Yeah.
understood that the way wrong way because I thought it meant like air powered to deploy the.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Like an umbrella that doesn't actually have a canopy. The air is the canopy.
That's awesome. Yeah, that would be kind of cool.
Yeah, if I could probably find it. Let me go back here. Where's search? Air umbrella. There it is. Here's a short. Michael, it's the Action Lab, I think. Hang on. Is this it? Yeah, the dude's name was Michael Superbacker. No, that's not there. Here it is. Okay. Alan Pan. Alan Pan is the guy that was Mythbusters and is no longer Mythbusters and does his own YouTube thing. 2 and change million subs, but he's the one that built the air umbrella for dude. Todd Carr, what's up, bud?
Hey Todd, how's it going, buddy?
Todd won a Tempest Knives microburst on my live last week, and I guess the main thing that Canadian Customs checks for is if you can do that and the blade deploys, then they consider it a gravity knife. And I had the pivot cranked down as tight as humanly possible, and I could still just real easily go, and it would flip because the bearings were just skating like it was on ice, even with the pivot all the way down. And I was like, well, that's not going to work. So I wound up taking the thing down all the way to spare parts, and I shipped it off to him and just said, what did I say? Replacement parts for kitchen utensil is what it says on the custom slip.
Yeah, I guess I can't remember where I heard, but like, it was getting really bad there. Like anything that you can open with one hand is basically considered illegal.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean that's like Germany.
Germany,
you're not supposed to be able to open something with one hand. Like if you're physically carrying it, you can't have automatics. You're not supposed to have flippers, and everything that you have is supposed to have like a pin that you can put through.
Yeah.
Once the blade is deployed, it has to have a pin that you can put in there to keep it open. I think that's goofy.
Very much so. But it's interesting to me that like most other countries are very restrictive when it comes to weapons, guns, knives, stuff like that. But as far as, you know, sex and nudity and all that other crap, they're like, whatever.
Yeah.
We're kind of the polar opposite of basically the entire country.
Yeah, you can't drop an F-bomb on TV or the radio. You can't
Yeah.
show a woman's boobie,
Right.
but you can buy a gun on every street corner, and you can't go to any public outing, whether it be a carnival or a movie theater or a mall or anything, without wondering what disgruntled incel's going to come through the doors
Yeah.
spraying everybody down today, because it's
Right.
it's like once a week now.
Yep.
These damn mass shootings, they're like once a week.
I think they did the math, and in the last few years, the occurrence has risen by like 800% or something like that. It was used to be unheard of, obviously,
Yep.
And now it's just something that happens, which is disgusting.
It is. It's absolutely disgusting.
That's not a good enough word, but I've always felt like, and I'm going to catch a lot of shit here. I've never understood the need to walk into a gun store and walk back out in the same trip with a gun. I've never understood that.
I can't buy guns, period. So
yeah, I know.
I mean, I'm the wrong person to have that debate with. I do own some already, and I'm all for care. If I could legally carry, I would.
Yeah,
but I can't, so I won't. But yeah, I mean, it's insane. It's insane. Every other day now too, there seems to be a new road rage incident where people are just, opening up. There was one not too long ago. It was two dudes, and one of them cut off the other one. That one got pissed, brandished his firearm. The guy in the other vehicle saw him brandish his firearm and pulled out his, and the two shot at each other. And you know who wound up getting shot?
Probably some kid in another car.
Each one of them had their daughters in the car with them, and their daughters are the ones that caught the bullets. Neither of them died, but
that doesn't matter.
It's insane.
So, I mean, did they go to prison?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, good. Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for gun control, and I don't mean it to sound like we need to take guns away from people. I don't understand why it's so easy to get one.
And, the age-old argument has always been and always will be, the only thing that's going to stop a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun. What we're starting to see now is good guy with gun versus good guy with gun killing daughters.
Yeah.
Because at what point does it stop?
When that Kyle Rittenhouse shit happened.
Oh, fuck that guy, man. He's a murderer.
Yeah. Listen, if the world comes to an end and the shit's hitting the fan and this, that, and the other, the absolute last person I'm going to follow is the first person out on the street with tactical gear and a fucking AR-15.
Mm-hmm.
That guy was waiting for it. So I don't want to be anywhere near him.
Yeah. That's why I like where I live. I can buy a semi-auto carbine and walk out with it the same day, but never needed it. Yeah. I mean, you can. When my dad passes away, I'm going to inherit his arsenal as well.
Yeah.
Can't legally carry any of them. I mean, it's one of the things, like Florida's gone constitutional carry. So it makes me wonder, with Florida going constitutional carry, if anything ever did pop off and I were carrying and I protected myself, what would come down on me? Because technically I'm not allowed to buy weapons, but I can own them. There's not, nobody ever came to my house and said, you know, hey, we're ATF, you can't have any weapons, give them all up.
Yeah.
I just can't go to the gun store and buy them.
I know that they have concealed carry insurance that will provide you with an attorney and all that other bullshit. But for all I know, that's just a scam. Yeah, yeah. I mean, you need to know what your rights are and what other people's rights are, and you need to really know your shit if you're going to put a bullet in somebody, because people go to jail for it all the time.
Did you see the one that just surfaced? I forget where it was. It was a DoorDash driver, and he went to the mall to pick up an order, and this dumbass YouTube prankster kid and his friends were sitting there videotaping, and dude's rolling up on him, playing some dumb crap on his phone, like, why are you thinking about my twinkle, or some crap like that, and just kept, you know, doing it and getting all up in dude's face. And he's like, get away from me, leave me alone, leave me alone. And this kid was big, he's a big kid, and he kept following dude, and he got up on him, and that dude, without thinking twice, just went, what? Pop, put it back. And they just acquitted him of they acquitted him of the attempted murder and so on and so forth. But then they charged him with discharging a firearm in a occupied dwelling.
Yeah.
So they basically just gave him a slap on the wrist.
Right. Well, he got lucky. Because if he had the wrong attorney, I don't know.
I will respectfully disagree. Kyle wanted to keep the peace and got mobbed and attacked by pedos. What are you talking about?
Okay, let's.
Oh, he's talking about Kyle Rittenhouse.
Rittenhouse, yeah. All right. I didn't know anything about that. So what?
That's bullshit, and I mean, this is obviously my take. We're going to have a debate about it. So it's not, no hard feelings to anybody. This is just how I feel about it.
Right.
If you put on an assault rifle, loaded, and travel across state lines, you are hoping to get to shoot a rioter. That's the only reason people were going out there with their weapons, is because they wanted to shoot a rioter. To sit there and say, well, he shot this guy who had this criminal history, he shot that guy who had this criminal history, and so on. Whatever happened to, you did your time, you've repaid society? You know, you can't be like, oh, well, he just shot a bunch of dirtbags. Yeah, they might have done some shitty things in their life. And yeah, they probably were up to no good out there. But dude shot and killed 3 freaking people at 17 years old. He went there to shoot. And then the damn police he ran up to him holding the weapon in the air, and they handed him a freaking bottle of water and said, here you go, kid.
I only would add, if I feel like if you're going somewhere to keep the peace, an AR-15 probably isn't the best way to do that. I don't mean any disrespect. I really don't.
There is no such thing as keep the peace when riots begin. Mob mentality will not be stopped. And then you add in, and this is where my views on things kind of catch me flack from both sides, because I'm very liberal thinking, but at the same time, god damn, bro, how the hell are you gonna let people torch your freaking police station, light it on fire? If you see it now, if you see the Portland police station, it's still got like boarded up 2x4s and plywood covering the front door from where it got kicked in. And then what do we do? Instead of instead of trying to control that crap, let's decriminalize everything and make this whole place an open air drug market. Where's the logic in that? Our world has gone so far off the rails, and I don't even think it's our world. I think it's our country has gone so freaking far off the rails, or maybe our entire continent. North and Latin America with the cartels and all the crap that's going on there. We've gone so far off the rails that the rest of the world is like, what the hell? Can we just, sink that entire side of Western civilization?
Crispy, what do you mean? What do you mean by that?
Rather be judged. It means he would rather kill somebody and or do something to take care of himself and be judged by a jury than have a coffin carried and put in the ground. Make sense?
Yeah, I guess so.
I'd rather be judged. Like if you shoot someone in self-defense, the saying is, if you're going to shoot someone, you make sure you kill them, because then they can't testify. But then, that opens up a whole new damn can of worms, because you're gonna have dude who was trying to rob some other dude who gets shot and killed while he's trying to rob him, and then some affirmative action group is gonna jump in and be like, oh, he was such a good little boy and he would never do anything. And the next thing you know, the family's suing the gunman who did nothing but tried to save his own life and belongings. They're suing him for, millions and millions of dollars, which if you're just a normal everyday Joe and somebody puts a lawsuit like that on you, you're going to go bankrupt.
Oh,
trying to pay for lawyers. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's where I gain a lot of flack from everyone, because I wholeheartedly believe that once you've served your time, then you've paid your debt to society. Now, the caveat to that is if you hurt children or you're a violent felon, shot someone, you stabbed someone, you killed someone, then no, that doesn't. You're a dirtbag. You're a piece of crap. You're a trash human. But a dude that cheated on his taxes and smoked a little weed, that suddenly winds up like you're going to find people that get shot, and the first thing the internet does in order to keep us fighting, left versus right, is the people on the left are going to be like, oh, well, you shouldn't have shot him, gun control, blah, 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 blah. And then the people on the right are going to be like, you're not going to take my guns. And instead of doing that, the first thing they're going to do is they're going to do what the internet does, and they're going to dox whoever the dude was that got shot. And they're going to be like, oh, yeah, look, he had a criminal history. He got caught driving without a license plate and stole a pair of Nikes when he was 18. And he's a terrible, terrible person. So you should totally believe that he deserved to be shot. They took our guns. And it's full circle again, is that we're right back to where we started at the very beginning of this, of the media doing everything in its power to keep us fighting amongst each other.
Yeah.
So they can maintain control over us.
Mm-hmm. Because who owns the vast majority of mainstream media?
The ultra wealthy 1%.
Well, fucking Google.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the 1%.
Yeah, Google, Bill Gates.
Yeah. What's he doing in China, by the way?
I don't know, idea.
See, with the gun thing, my biggest fear when I'm carrying is like, what if something does pop off and either my bullet goes through this guy and, like you said, hits a kid, or I just miss altogether and hit somebody who didn't, had nothing to do with it. That's my biggest fear. And I don't feel like enough people have a healthy fear or something like that.
Mm.
They don't even think about it.
Dissension One just made a very good point. He said they just handed out, 10,000 select fire AKs to civilians of border towns in Israel. Just yesterday, they were not allowed to own a rifle. What changed? They got attacked. And that's the God's honest truth, man. I mean, I've been there, done that. I've been to war. And it's freaking ugly, man. It's ugly. And there's two sides to every coin. There's a lot more at play here than just what we're seeing in the news. And there's a lot of misinformation that's coming through on the news. Like the thing that said the German tattoo artist who was paraded around the streets like naked and dead in the back of the thing. The girl's mother came out and said, no, she wasn't. They took her to a hospital in Gaza and dropped her off at the hospital. So it's how can we demonize these people and put these people up on the pedestal? At the end of the day, my take is that support for the war over in Ukraine, Russia, so on, is waning. People are sick of the fact that we could have fixed or at least built housing for every homeless person in the United States 6 times over.
I was going to say 10.
It's about 6 times over with the money that we've spent. We could have cured world hunger about 3.5 times over with the amount of money we've pumped into weapons. And it's not popular anymore. And the industrial war machine needs to keep making money because they run this country. They own the politicians. They bankroll everything. All these black ops and psyops and proxy wars that we're not even, ever since we pulled out of Afghanistan, we're not fighting wars anymore. We're basically paying for proxy wars. And hey, now this thing in Israel popped off. So hey, look, there's a new place to shift a bunch of weapons to.
So Crispy, I've done enough training. You just never know what's going to happen, buddy. There's always so much control that you have in a situation. Outside of that, it's just chance. I guess that's all I can say about that. That's all I have to say about that.
T-Fetch went on a little rant here, and I agree with him a lot. I said, let me see if I can rip through this quick. They have us fight each other so we end up accepting technology, AI, simulation as the solution. It's by design. All roads lead there. Spiritual self-awareness says, fuck that. Waste all the money on NASA instead of fixing problems on Earth. That's it, bro. It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. And that's that. I mean, we were talking about this on my stream on Tuesday. All of this crap, all money wasted on NASA, and we have the brightest minds with unlimited budgets, Jeffrey Bezos, Elon Musk, all of them, and yet we've not landed on the moon again.
I was just going to say,
the Cold War, there was no freaking way we had them bullshit, janky ass land. I was just at the space station, the space center today. I live right down the road from Kennedy Space Center. I was there with my daughter today, and they have like the Moonlander rover and the this and the that. Yeah, they absolutely did go up and build the ISS. The space station is there. Yes, they flew the shuttles. They shot them up, and then the shuttles came back down. They did all of that. But there is no way that janky-ass moon lander put a human being on that moon. And then we haven't been able to do it again ever up to and including time now, when there's just money upon money being thrown into it.
Crispy, I wasn't trying to insult your intelligence. I really wasn't. I don't know why you've. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to insult your intelligence.
I didn't read it like that either.
That's fine. You know, like I said, we're just talking here.
Oh, son of a bitch!
What?
I didn't realize I got the concept Baku. It's a sparrow knife design thing, and I was just playing with it, and I dragged it across the. I got the little, shock mount.
Yeah.
On my thing, and I dragged it across one of the O-rings and cut it apart. So my shock mount's about to start falling apart on me.
Something you said earlier. The Forrest Gump. I'm sorry, I didn't mean for it to sound like that. I just say that sometimes. So one of the things you said earlier about was like people kind of not really. I mean, somebody tells them something and then they just take it and go.
Mm-hmm.
That's been one of my biggest issues, is that I feel like anything that you get as far as current events or news or something bad happening or whatever, you really need to kind of like go a little further and dig a little deeper to make sure that you're getting the whole story or the right story to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
The other day I was watching a video on Instagram, and it's kind of like a satirical video. It's a guy up at a podium saying that he was at the White House and his wife had just died, but that doesn't stop the country. So he started asking the reporters to ask questions, and they felt bad about his family dying. And I'm like, this is obviously fake. So I just went to the comments to see how many people were making fun of it, and everybody's like, oh my god, I feel so bad for this guy, I can't believe they made him keep working. And there's tens of thousands of comments of people just like, my condolences, and I can't believe this happened. I'm like, these people believe this. And then I showed it to my wife, and she's like, yeah, that's awful. I'm like, it's not real.
Listen, bro, nothing can cure the problems of the world faster than thoughts and prayers on Facebook.
All right, sorry, Crispy. I apologize, buddy. I'm sorry you feel that way.
Crispy, man, stick around. I'll call you later, man. I think there's a misunderstanding happening here. But yeah. Anyway. Fallout just makes a great point. Talking about Fallout the game?
I was just going to ask the same thing.
Yeah, the camera would not withstood the night or day temps on the moon, plus the cam was not sealed. All that was, yeah, it was all garbage.
I missed that.
Oh, they're Bearded Doom.
Huh. Budget guy.
Yes, it's me. Yes, it's me.
You misread what situation?
Hmm? Yeah, there's definitely been a miscommunication that happened.
All right. Well, I'm sorry. I sometimes I do that. I'm an idiot, and I say things without thinking, I guess.
Oh, dude, that's what I do. The words fall out my mouth, and then my brain catches up after the fact.
Yeah. War never changes. Scott and Doom, the intro to Fallout. Fallout 4.
Okay, nice. I never really got into any of the Fallout games.
I started the first one because my daughter was really into it. But I'm not really huge into video games anyway, so I never really got in. The only game that I ever really played all the way through was The Last of Us.
They just finally put that out for PC.
Did they?
And yeah, I want to get it, but I don't know if I want to get it. I've heard nothing but good things about it.
It's a great game.
But it's also like 70 or 80 bucks for PC.
Really?
Yeah, it's
Wow.
stupid expensive.
Yeah, it's not worth that.
Yeah. I'll wait until like Steam winter sale or something, and they'll probably knock it down to like 40 bucks. And then I'll pick it up. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, what was the other game that I really got into? Shit. It's the one about the treasure hunter.
No clue.
Drake something. I don't know.
Drake something.
It's kind of like Tomb Raider, but with a guy. Ew.
I don't know, but that would be cool. I wonder if they got a nude patch. Uncharted.
Uncharted, yeah, there you go.
Right.
Thank you, DK.
Nathan Drake. I've got a couple of the Uncharted. That's the big sandbox game, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
Yeah. I know I own them. I don't think I've ever played them.
Yeah, I own all of them too. I'll probably start playing them again now, just like once through, and then I'll be done for a couple more years.
Yeah, this mine looks like crap right now, but that's my rig.
Wow.
I used to have hard lines on the water pipes and everything that I did, and it looked really good. But yeah. It was the way I had it piped. It was so intricately done that every time, every 6 months or so, when you need to drain the coolant and put new coolant in it, it turned into such a pain in the ass, pulling out all the little bits of hose. I said, screw this. And I just bought all new fittings and put soft tubing in there all willy-nilly just to get it done.
Yeah,
what's
my
up,
daughter's
Junior?
got one like that, but I don't really know much about PCs.
Yeah. I built my first PC.
Thanks, Junior Miz.
Yeah, I built my first PC for myself probably around 1997. Prior to that, it was probably...
Hey, Maddie.
90... Probably, I want to say like 88, 89, somewhere around there. Whenever the Apple II was the big computer, you know what I mean? It's like nothing. My pop saved nickel and dime for forever to buy that Apple II computer for himself.
Yeah.
And he brought that thing home, and what did I do? I took that sumbitch apart because I wanted to know how it worked. And at that point, I was maybe 10 years old. At that point, I got my butt whipped until I got the thing put back together. And from that point forward, I've just been, building it into computers and building my own stuff. Yeah, acid test kids, I would totally, I think when I upgrade Next, I'm going to switch back to air cooling. I've got the RTX 3090 in it right now, so I won't need to upgrade my GPU for quite some time. Todd Carr, yep, Plex is your friend, Doom. Plex. You talking about Flex? Flexos? Plex? I don't know. I'm so confused right now. I'm so confused. I don't know
I am
what's happening.
too. I don't know computer verbiage.
Matthew Russell, what's going on, man?
Budget guy wants to know if you build PCs for people to buy.
Not typically. Typically, I just build the PC for the person, and that's it. I don't make any profit off of it. It's just a hobby.
Yeah, you should talk to my oldest. She's really into that shit.
Yeah, bro, that 1080 Ti was a monster of a card. That was one of the ones where they put that card out, and
I'll be right back here.
Yeah, they were falling behind AMD at the time. That was like when AMD had the 7, I want to say it was the Radeon 7 series, something or other. And NVIDIA said, holy crap, we're about to get smoked. So they jumped like 4 generations worth of cards. Because, they've already got the things developed for years and years and years to release a new one every year, 2 years. But that one, they were like, yeah, just push it out with these specs. And that 1080 Ti is still, that 1080 Ti is going to outperform your low end RTX cards still. I mean, obviously you're not going to get the RTX, but ray tracing is a stupid resource hog anyway. First PC I built was a Pentium 75, 100 megabyte hard drive, 28.8 modem, 3D graphics card, was over 5K with a 14-inch monitor. And a 14-inch monitor was one of them big old cathode ray tube things that took it. You had to knock a hole in the wall to be able to put the back of it towards the back of your desk. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Todd, I've never heard of it called Plex tubing, but I definitely use, I forget what tubing it is that I got, but yeah, I'm actually having an issue right now where my combo pump reservoir has a really light leak to it, to where it's like a class 1 leak. It's condensate. I can see where the acrylic sandwiches together. I can see that it's leaking out in between the sheets of acrylic, but it's leaking so slowly that it's evaporating before it can actually form a droplet and fall. So it's definitely due to be ripped apart and fixed, but I just don't feel like doing it. Lugging a CRT monitor to a friend's house to LAN. Yeah, man. I remember the old LAN parties. Those are good times. They were good. T-Fetch running the AMD Ryzen 7 2700X. Fantastic core. 3.7 RTX 2070, 32 gigs. Fucking Windows 10. I'm on Windows 11, dude. I'm on Windows 11. And it took me a little getting used to, but I actually kind of like it. Yeah, my next build is definitely going to be air-cooled on the graphics card and either an AIO or just a really good air cooler on the CPU. Because this liquid cool, I've been doing liquid cooling for so long now, and to do good liquid cooled setup, just in fittings and tubing and reservoirs and such alone, you're going to spend almost as much as your damn computer cost on the parts to put a water cooling loop in it. So, yeah, I'm running a Ryzen. What is it? The 5800X. I have 5800X, RTX 3090, 64 gigs G Skill, Trident Z. It was made to be a 14 CL 14 16 16 at 3600, but it just wasn't stable on the motherboard using those settings. So I've actually got it running CL 12 13 13 now at 3200. So it's a monster. It's a monster. I can edit and process a video in like seconds. Now, why not pre-built? Nowadays it's totally worth going pre-built. It used to be you could get the parts and build the computer, and it would be cheaper than buying a pre-built. Nowadays, with supply chain and scalpers and all of that crap, it's easier to just go to, I always suggest people go to Main Gear. Main Gear has amazing pre-builts at very little markup over what it would cost you to actually buy this stuff. And it comes with a damn warranty that they'll fix the stuff for you. That's why one of the biggest problems I've always had with making computers for people is they'll give me the money to build the thing. I'll build the thing. You might as well be speaking yeah. What was that? What the hell was I saying? Oh, I build the machine for someone, and then they turn around and dork it up, and I wind up spending all the time that I could be doing free time stuff, playing tech support to try to fix what they screwed up. So now I pretty much just recommend go get a pre-built. Any thoughts? SkyTech Shiva 2 5700X 3.4 RTX 4070 16 DDR 650 gold. I think that power supply is a little bit weak. That won't give you any upgradability down the road. The RAM could be good. It could be terrible because the speed that's listed does not play as much a role as the cache latency. Probably want to go to 32 gigs on RAM just because it's so cheap to do so. The 4070 is a great card. The processor is a great processor. 240 AIO on that would make sense. I mean, with the AIOs and so on, especially if you're not planning on doing any overclocking, you shouldn't have to worry about it. But anyway, let's get back to a topic that's not Chinese to Scotty. Vietnamese, sorry.
No, it's cool, man. I've never really been into computers, but I know a lot of people on here are. I actually I mean, I had Facebook in the past, but I watched the Social Dilemma, and I deleted all my social media. And then after I started the channel, I obviously opened up my Instagram and Facebook again. But yeah, I don't know if you ever saw that, but it's a little terrifying.
I don't think I have, but I'm sure I know the general gist of it. But yeah. a piece of backy stuck in the back of my throat.
Ooh, yeah, that's no bueno.
um, let's see here. What did Todd said, you ever think about the aftermarket self-contained coolant systems like Corsair offers on CPUs and GPUs? Yeah, they're fantastic. They're fantastic systems. EK Waterblocks also has fantastic ones. They're really, it's tough to find a bad one nowadays. If you ever want a good comparison, go watch Gamers Nexus. You're still carrying this on?
I am.
I see you over there nodding.
I don't know that'll ever come out of my pocket. I really don't.
You know, I've never even touched one.
Yeah, it's really cool, man. If you ever want to take a look at it, let me know. I have a new favorite in my collection for everybody, in case you're interested, but it has not replaced the Zon because this one is not a user.
Oh, you got the CKF. What is that? The Rotten Evo.
Yeah. With the
that's you got a Mokatai clip on there too.
I sure do. I like it a lot.
That's pretty, man.
It is beautiful.
Have you punched the rear end of the blade through your thumbnail yet? Like everybody seems to be doing?
No, well, I mean, my thumbnails are pretty thick, so I've got I usually have a whole bunch of marks on my thumb from the blade hitting my thumbnail. But I haven't done that in quite a while, so they're pretty clear right now.
So that's from sitting on your thumbs too long.
Right.
Don't worry. If you remember to wiggle, your nails wouldn't thicken up.
Right.
Pre-built, I recommend under 1600. I would need to do research on that. I can't just answer it because pricing changes every other day. Hell, sometimes pricing will change multiple times in the same day. Believe it or not, pricing on a lot of computers, at least on the Intel side of things, is probably going to take a big hit now because Intel's largest chip producing factory is in Israel. So the new war happening is most likely going to drive up those prices again. So may not be the best time to look into it, but hit me at Budget Guy, hit me up on Instagram, and tomorrow after my stream I'll do a little bit of research and let you know what I find and what's a good buy nowadays.
So Drizzy, you're absolutely right. My thumbnail is the Chuck Norris of thumbnails.
So the earth was formed the day your thumbnail landed its first roundhouse kick.
Yeah. That's creationism for you right there.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Holy crap, dude! It's almost midnight. We've been going for 2.5 hours.
2.5 hours.
I need to call Crispy.
Yes, sir. Well, tell him I apologize. I
will, dude. Him and I talk on the phone regularly. We talk like every day. So okay. I'm going to touch base with him, and then I need to put my happy ass to bed.
Yeah. I don't remember if I don't remember if I said anything, but I didn't. If I did, I didn't mean to.
Yeah, I don't remember what was said or how it was said or what caused anything, but you know, it's not worth dwelling over. I've pissed off people before that don't come to my channel anymore. It's when you're a public figure, which I mean, it doesn't matter how many subs you have if you're willing to stick your face up on a screen and jaw jack. Then you're a public figure, and then when you're a public figure, you're going to piss people off, and you know, it happens. It happens. So
right. It actually went. This conversation actually went a lot better than I expected it to. I expected to ruffle more than a few feathers. So, but I'm glad we didn't. So
I mean, I'm sure we ruffled some feathers, but I'm sure, you know, there were quite a few people also just kind of chiming in with their own thoughts too. I think I call it the 1 + 1 = 3 conversation theory, where your one idea plus my one idea equals 3 ideas. So now you have the original 2 plus a new one based off of everyone that you discussed. And I think the majority of people in this community that I've met, at least, are very smart people, deep thinkers. A lot of us are reformed scumbags, which gives us a very different outlook on life. So, yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for coming, everybody. I really appreciate it. I'm glad talking with you guys.
I appreciate you having me, man.
Yeah, thanks for coming, brother. I will. I'll hit you up in this week or next week sometime.
Tracy. All right, brother.
All right, man. Take it easy. Bye, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.